All right, so for this one, we're going to be going over the division with decimals. And remember, this is going to be for the middle school number sense test for problems 1 through 10. These are going to be very common to pop up, okay? So let's jump into this one. So one thing that you have to remember, we don't want to write extraneous zeros. I know it shows it here, but in your answer, whenever you write this, it's going to be incorrect. So we have the decimal there, so I'm going to write the decimal. And then I'm going to start dividing 5 into 3, which we can't, so I'm going to write a 0 there. But 5 does go into 37, and that goes in 7 times. And there's a remainder of 2. Now, 5 goes into 25 5 times, so my answer would be 0.075. If I were to have written down 0.075, that would be incorrect because of this extra 0. So we can't write extraneous zeros. Let's try this one here. So here, we have the decimal, so I'm going to put point. 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 goes into 6 one time, but with the remainder of 2, 4 goes into 24 6 times. Now, just a reminder, I'm making all these markings over here with these circles, but you can't do that during the test because it's going to be considered incorrect, okay? So just be careful with that. Now, with these, you got to be extra careful because the difference between 1 and 2 and 3 is that this one here is written in a decimal. So here's one way to think about it, okay? Whenever you run into this situation, that way you guys can work this out on your head. I want to change this to make it a 4. Now, in order for me to do that, I need to multiply this times 100. So if I do it to the bottom, I have to do this to the top. So this times 100, that makes it a 160. So this right here is just a ninja way of saying 160 divided by 4, which makes things a lot easier to look at, right? So 4 into 1, no. 4 into 16, yes, that is 4. And then 4 into 0, that is a 0. So your answer is 40. Okay, so here, remember, we got to think of what do I need to multiply this to make it a 3, and that's 100. So if I multiply this times 100, that's really 180. So we're really dividing 3 only by 180. So 3 goes into 1 none, 3 goes into 18 6 times, and then 3 goes into 0 0 times. So your answer is 60. So these two are the ones that you need to be extremely careful with because those are the ones that are commonly missed, okay? The next one here, we can think of this in a different way. So 404, what I can think of is divided by 1/2. So 1/2 and 0.5 mean the same thing. Now, if you remember one thing from division with fractions, dividing by 1/2 also means multiplying times 2. Okay, so if you can recognize, hey, that's 0.5, that's 1/2. When I divide, I multiplied by the reciprocal, and the reciprocal is 2, so I'm really just doubling 404. So my answer is 808 when I double 404. So again, this right here is just a ninja way of saying double this. So if I double that, that ends up being 246 because that's doubled 123, okay? This one here, 0.25, well, that's really saying 102 divided by a 4th. Well, in the same fashion that I did here, if I take the reciprocal of this, that's 102 times 4. So I'm really multiplying 102 times 4, and that ends up being 408, okay? Same fashion here. This is just a ninja way of saying 4 times 202, which is 808, okay? And as you can imagine this one, 303 divided by 0.1 or 0.10, 0.1 and 0.10 mean the same thing. That's really saying 1/10, right? Well, if I do the reciprocal of that, right, of 1/10, that's really just 10. So this is really just saying what's 303 times 10, which is 30, 30.